The night air in Avalon, Maine, is thick with whispering winds, and something older, something ancient, is stirring beneath the soil. Michelle Cote races through the thick forest, heart pounding, clutching a crumpled note her missing friend left behind. Everyone dismisses her claims about the eerie, unnatural force responsible. But as the shadows grow longer and the disappearances multiply, Michelle knows the truth is crawling closer. What exactly has wormed its way into this quiet town? And how do you fight a horror you can't even understand? Michelle's best friend just vanished on a fog-shrouded evening, no trace, no clues. The town shrugs it off as another runaway, but Michelle senses something far darker is at play. Michelle scours the dense Avalon woods, flashlight trembling in her hand, braving cold mud and snapthorn brambles. She finds his last footprints near an ancient stone circle, then nothing. No sign of struggle, no tracks leading away. Just silence. At dawn, the whole town still calls it a teenage stunt, but Michelle can't shake the oppressive feeling that something unseen snatched him into darkness. Fear in Avalon acts like a fog that smothers clear thought. Imagine a small pond, still on the surface, but teeming with unseen currents below. When someone vanishes, panic distorts reality, turning neighbors suspicious and paralyzing action. The town clings tightly to what little normalcy they have, unwilling to confront the creeping terror beneath. As town members slip away or mutate strangely, Avalon's denial erodes, replaced by a raw edge of survival instinct. Sheriff Shane Davis finally confronts the buried evil after witnessing people transform into puppets of that ancient force. The town's fracture becomes a catalyst. Only by facing madness head-on can they hope to reclaim their home. An ancient evil, buried deep beneath Avalon's soil, begins twisting people into horrific versions of themselves. Sheriff Davis battles fact and folklore as reality slips into nightmare. Sheriff Shane Davis notices his longtime friend, Tom, once jovial and solid, now hollow-eyed and twitchy. Other familiar faces lose warmth, their voices laced with static oddness. At the local diner, Michelle points out telltale signs: unblinking stares, skipping heartbeats, unnatural stillness. The town's people aren't just scared, they're becoming something else, and the change is infecting everyone, one person at a time. Think of the ancient force as a creeping poison seeped into Avalon's veins, like ink spilled underwater. You don't see it at first, but slowly everything it touches changes color and shape, warping into something unrecognizable. It's insidious, working from inside out, warping life itself until resistance seems futile, except for those who understand the nature of the corruption. Sheriff Davis discovers the force feeds on fear and disbelief. Once he accepts that this evil isn't folklore but flesh and blood terror, new possibilities open. Awareness acts like a vaccine. By revealing the true nature of the threat, the town can mobilize defenses beyond mere disbelief. The ancient force, while powerful, is not invincible. It thrives only when left unchecked. When logic fails, help arrives from the unlikeliest corner. Davis teams with a local recluse, one who knows more about Avalon's secrets than anyone realizes. Marla, a hermit living near the abandoned quarry, is a whispered legend in Avalon. When Davis shows up at her weathered cabin, clutching his badge beneath the cracked window, she doesn't flinch. She reveals dusty tomes chronicling Avalon's dark past and rituals meant to keep ancient forces bound. Davis's disbelief starts cracking as Marla shares chilling insights no one else dared whisper. Imagine knowledge as a flashlight in a cavern. Alone, it's faint, barely illuminating the chaos. But with the right person, like Marla combined with Davis, the beam widens, piercing deeper shadows. This partnership blends street-hardened realism with forgotten arcana, creating a powerful tool to fight the creeping darkness before it consumes everything. Together, Davis and Marla rewrite the town's survival script. Their alliance shatters long-held distrust and isolation, proving that even in fear-soaked places, collaboration can spark resistance. Avalon's future hinges on this delicate balance between old knowledge and new courage, a lesson for any battle against the unknown. Avalon's reality bends, people vanish, appearances warp, the familiar becomes alien. Michelle and Davis must decipher what's real before it's too late. One afternoon, Michelle watches an elderly man in the town square blink out of existence, leaving behind a faint echo of cold air. Soon after, streets twist into impossible shapes, shadows flickering where light once reigned. These incidents shatter the fragile normality Avalon once had, throwing everyone into a vortex where time stutters and reality warps unpredictably. Each moment becomes a frantic race against the town's own unraveling sanity. Think of Avalon now like a funhouse mirror maze, distorting, stretching, disorienting. The town's fabric bends as if reality itself is melting, with people becoming unmoored from time and space. The horrifying effect makes it nearly impossible to trust your senses. But in this chaos lies a critical insight. If you can learn to focus beyond illusions, you can still navigate through the maelstrom. Michelle's journey teaches us that perception isn't just passive, it shapes our survival. By training herself to look past the distortions, to listen to intuition beyond sight, she unlocks new paths to safety. Reality's breakdown forces growth, turning confusion into clarity. Avalon isn't just breaking, it's becoming something new, and only those who adapt can endure. You can't fight what you don't understand. Michelle and Davis learn the hardest lesson. Sometimes acceptance opens the path to victory. Sheriff Davis's greatest struggle is abandoning his badge of logic. Early on, he tries to explain the disappearances with rational theories, kidnappers, mass hysteria, drugs, but none fit. One chilling night, when he sees the earth itself pulse with dark life, the line between reason and madness blurs. It's the moment he realizes some battles require breaking laws of understanding altogether. Fear is like gasoline on the fire of Avalon's ancient evil. As townsfolk freeze in panic or lash out blindly, they fuel the dark force's power. Glenn Rolfe shows us that the oldest monsters aren't just external threats, they're amplifiers of our inner terrors, growing stronger when we resist or deny them. Fighting fear means starving the beast, not feeding it. In the end, Michelle learns that surrender isn't weakness, it's a smart recalibration. By accepting the strange and unknowable, she unlocks a different kind of power, resilience through flexibility. Avalon's survival hinges on those willing to embrace uncertainty, face discomfort, and become something new. Sometimes, the scariest thing is letting go, and in doing so, you become unstoppable. Remember how Michelle first dashed through Avalon's dark woods, desperate and alone? That rush of frantic hope pulses through the entire story. Understanding what terrifies you rather than turning away is the key to overcoming. Try this. Next time fear plucks at your sleeve, lean into what you don't know. Ask yourself, what's the truth hiding beneath the chaos? That willingness to face dark unknowns can transform your world, and sometimes help you become something greater. Subscribe for more book summaries like this one.